Okay, so today we're going to go through a bit of basic calibration on the 130 machine. The reason we're doing this is because on the bigger machines you actually have a calibration up here on your toolbar, but we don't have that on this machine. So we have to actually go in through your parameter settings, which is in the bend table setting. But first what we need to do is change into the admin version of the software. So to do that, we need to click on 0 as a password, and OK. So that will let us in here now. Bend table settings. And you see here, this is where it comes up with your bender comp and gain on your positive rod and your bender comp and gain on your negative rod. So we're going to show you how to go through and set those. There'll be stickers on your machine for your template angles to check your radiuses too, and a little bit of information on, you know, reducing and tightening the arc. So we'll open up the radian calibration graph, which will be on your desktop, and this is what we'll end up with. So if you start and click from the right node to the left, we'll pick that section and we'll process that. Again, so we do have the positive and the negative rods. This will determine which way the machine processes. So at the moment it's coming out on the negative rod, and it's the bender comp. So there we go. It's that one. Come over here, hold that up, and that's come out pretty good. We're pretty happy with that one. Being an outside part, if it's a little bit over, it's going to hold against your returns a bit better. So we can return that back to the slotted position, and we'll start on this one down here. So we'll go from the right to the left again. Again, this will come out on the negative rod and come around this way. So this is your basic calibration. When you start and put the new material in, you set these to this material. And then what you can do from there is adjust the angles to suit the different fonts that you're doing, because not every font's going to have the same nodes. So you can see that that's a little bit too open. We need to bring that in a little bit. So what we'll do is we'll turn that material back. We'll open up the bend table settings again. Well, this is what we're working on here, the negative bender gain. So we want to increase that value to increase the radius. So we'll go from 101 up to 103. Save in table. Yes. And again, from right to left, single click. Process this down and see how it looks. And once you are using your machine a lot more, you'll understand the values you've got to change on each machine as well, because every machine has a little bit different values. There's not one value for every machine, they are a little bit different. So that there has made it pretty good to that radius. I'd be happy enough to run material at that. So now that we've done the positive rod, we'll go through and work on the negative rod, sorry. We'll go through and work on the positive rod. So what we need to do now is start on the left-hand side and hold down control. It just makes that machine think that it's going to be an inside part now. See now that it will come out on the positive rod. There we go. Turn that off. Up against that one. That could probably do with a little bit of a tighten up. So we'll add a little bit to that one. Parameter settings, bend table settings. So on a bender comp, I'm going to just add a little bit to it. So is it 10? We'll just add 0.5. It wasn't too far off. save and table. Again, working from the left-hand side to the right while holding control. And process. You'll get used to seeing how it's coming out of the machine. You'll be able to tell straight away if you have got the right numbers. All right, so that there looks a lot better now. It's almost perfectly to that radius. So we'll go through. I'll do the bender gain now. Hold control from left to right and process. So what you do need to keep in mind, as I was saying before about the different fonts. Now, you're not always going to have the same nodes. It depends on which program it's run through, what type of font. You can see that one there just a little bit. So we'll tighten that up. But this will just be your basic calibration. There is videos on advanced calibration, and the only thing that will be different is, again, using this section here to that section there from the 130 to the bigger machines. So we'll tighten this one up now. Bend it here. Tighten that one. Pretty much spot on. So that's your basic calibration. Do this at the start of a material, but then you're just going to have to do little tweaks and that for each different font set. Just start at the start, run a little bit of a letter. We usually use like a standard B, and we just put that down here and just go, you know, the gain needs a little bit of a tighten, just put, you know, 0.5 or something on and go from there and you'll be fine.
So basically what Cam's saying there, just to reiterate a little bit, is this graph here is purely to when you add a new material to the machine that you haven't processed in the past, to get that material to the point where it's ready to start to process. But as Cam said, each font, each letter set you do can be slightly different. So they're going to need a bit more advanced calibration. So if you basically are doing the inside of this B and you find that the first test you do it's a little bit tight, just go in and back it off a little bit. If it's not tight enough, go in and tighten it up slightly. Same with the outsides. So that's how you tweak your calibrations. Now you've got to do that with every job you run through, as in just check your fitments before you run the job. It's very quick, very easy, but you need to do it on each job because all files are different. But basically with the small machine as well, you don't have to have things exactly to the radiuses because you're only processing smaller material, so it's easy to manipulate by hand as well anyway. So that's basically it.